What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Mark Walberg. It is Bonfire Talks. We have lit the bonfire. We're starting again. Hello, Kalen. How are you, buddy?
I'm good, Mark. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. I am detoxing from Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, not so bad this time. I really didn't party at all. I was in Vegas for the weekend doing Wheel of Fortune Live, which if you're in Vegas this coming weekend, this will drop, Friday and Saturday, 18 and 19. I will be there. 4 shows, 2 shows each night. And I got to tell you something, man. I haven't done that in a long time, and it's kind of cheesy, and it's not nearly Temptation Island. It's not so much substantive. It's a game. It's Wheel of Fortune. It's not even the TV show. It's just a live show. But it's a joy. And I'll tell you one of the things that I really dug, Kalen, is that I love hosting shows, and I love hosting live shows because you're pulling contestants out of the audience. You have no idea what you're in for. But here's the thing. The people involved are so fucking excited. So you end up being like the doorkeeper to a bucket list item for people, and we shouldn't compare what one person's bucket list is to somebody else's. Somebody might say you should be, more into being on the actual TV show and winning millions of dollars. But for a lot of people, this is a really big deal to be. Some people never been on stage in their lives,
Right.
And then the other thing that I kind of tripped on. I mean, tripped like LSD trip, not tripped. Although I did do a little bit of tripping on the game.
Oh, really?
Which is a whole other story.
Yeah.
I fucked up some stuff.
I'm interested.
Yeah.
Now I'm excited. That's my area.
Live. But one of the things I kind of spent time thinking about was we are so disjointed as a society, especially in the United States right now. And it's like, what jersey are you wearing? Are you wearing red or are you wearing blue? And I don't know if it feels this way to you guys, but to me, it is like this drumbeat and heavy, wet blanket that's always on me. Like I feel it everywhere I go. There's this, friend or enemy thing that really is, anytime you turn on the TV, everything is so divisive and so upsetting. And I look at this audience, which is diverse. Vegas audience. They're from all over the world, quite frankly, and all over the political spectrum and everything. And I'm always looking for what's the lesson and what's the value even in the stupidest stuff. I really got excited about the fact that for 90 minutes, none of that shit mattered.
Yeah.
And I think that's the key to game shows and TV, for that matter, is that for 90 minutes, there were hundreds of people in this audience. All they really cared about was buying a vowel. And I was selling them. Yeah. So that was sick.
Here, pull that microphone in a little bit for me.
Yeah. Better?
Yep.
Thank you, Kalen. So hadn't done the show in a long time, and I've hosted every game show known to man in my life, live versions or, whatever. And I have allergies, so forgive me if I sound a little stuffed up. But Wheel of Fortune looks like the easiest one. Like, how hard could it be? Buy a vowel.
Not Jeopardy. Yeah.
Well, no, Jeopardy, not to play. I'm saying to host.
Yeah, I feel like Jeopardy is like the hardest game show to host. Remember when he was leaving and they had to find someone else? They have to be super smart. They have to know every word. They have to know exactly how it's said. They need to. They're like, if you don't press the thing at the right, it seems like the hardest game show. I feel like. That
kind of speaks to what I'm going to talk about with Wheel of Fortune. I don't think it's the hardest one. The hardest one I've ever hosted.
Yeah.
Let's Make a Deal.
Really?
Yeah. Well, the way I did it, I think it's different now for Wayne Gretzky. Because he's the great one. Yeah. No, for Wayne Brady, because I think maybe he has an earpiece and they're helping him in the booth. But when Monty Hall did it, like back in the day, he was just kind of feeling it. And Let's Make a Deal is like really difficult because it's every single situation is if they pick this, then that. And if they pick this, then that. And what do you reveal and when and how? And when you do it in a live show, it's deep. There's a lot going on. So that was the hardest game show I've ever hosted. Wheel of Fortune is deceptively hard for what you were talking about with Jeopardy. seems like Wheel of Fortune is like you stand there and you say spin the wheel, and he says I want an A, and you go there are 2 A's, and that's it.
Yep.
But when you can buy, when you can't buy, all the stuff that we just take for granted when we watch the show, when you have contestants up there who aren't trained to be contestants, who haven't like auditioned, you know,
They haven't been coached up.
not really coached up, and maybe not even a fan of the show, they ask questions and make mistakes that never happen on TV, and then you're forced as the host to have to know the rules. And I screwed up. Like there's a wedge called the express wedge, and here's the rules. The rules are when you get the express wedge, you can control the board and keep calling letters until you miss. But if you, and this is the part I screwed up, you keep calling letters until you solve the puzzle. So you get to control the board, nobody else can ring in, and you get 1,000 points for every letter, whatever you're going to do, right? But the rules go like this. First of all, you got to call a letter and have it in the puzzle first before the express can be an option. So I fucked that up right off the bat. Then,
Do you have an earpiece?
no, I don't have anything. And not that I listen when I have an earpiece anyway. And then, so what I forgot to tell them, which is kind of key, is that if you take the express wedge and you blow it, it's a bankrupt.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So it's little things like that, like, and the order in which it goes that I kind of screwed up. And so it could have been really dramatic. Like they could have really gotten shitty with me, but I played it off. We also had like some technical stuff break. So you're on stage and you're doing a toss-up question and none of the buttons work, which in TV, we stop tape, we fix it, and we go ahead. But on a live show, people are like, you know, you're ripping them off and it gets really shitty and they can turn on you really quick. But that didn't really happen. We had a good time. I'm working with a guy. I want to give him a shout-out. You can go to his socials and stuff. His name is Cody Dove, and he's the announcer and kind of my sidekick in the show, and he's just brilliant. He comes from Second City, and so his vibe is amazing.
Yeah.
And he really sets the tone great. So it's really a party, and if you're in Vegas this weekend, come see it. And then I'll be on tour. I'll tell you more as we get in the fall. There's a lot that happens. What?
Well, speaking of screwing up rules, I messed up the rules over the weekend playing Candyland with my daughter, so I know how you feel.
Oh, my God.
My 6-year-old schooled me on the rules of Candyland, so I feel you.
What did you do? You took the chute or the ladder down or jump drop lane?
Yeah, there's these squares that have like cinnamon sticks on them. That's
Yes,
like an
they
X, and I was like, if you land on that, you got to start from the beginning. And so we were playing it, and she's like, that's not the rules, Dad. And I go, yes, it is. Those are the rules. She goes, that's not the rules. So I had to look it up on my phone, and no, that wasn't the rules. You just skip a turn if you land on the cinnamon sticks.
See, on Bonfire Talks, we get right into the stuff that matters most for you. So those of you who are out there playing Candyland incorrectly, now you know.
Now you know.
Although I am a little bit, I get a little bit of the feels thinking of you with those cute little daughters that I met playing Candyland. I mean, those days, they're short, they're fleeting, and pretty special.
Yeah.
I can't get my kids to play Candyland now. They're old. So Goldie did a classic for me today. Oh, but so much going on. So that Vegas was Vegas, and then I had to come. They wanted me to stay there between the weekend, just hang out in Vegas. So 2 things. 1, no, because free time in Vegas, not great.
Yeah.
2,
Trouble.
by the way, when was the last time you were in Vegas?
5, at least 5 years of COVID. It's probably like 7 years ago.
So I've been to Vegas on and off a lot. Excuse me. But this one seems so different. So like things that no longer exist in Vegas, every casino and hotel used to have like a coffee shop, 24-hour coffee shop. You can get whatever you want any time of day, something to eat, right?
Yeah.
Not the case anymore.
Huh.
So if you don't eat at Vanderpump or Bobby Flay's Burgers or Guy Fieri's barbecue sports thing, there's very few places where you can. It used to be a $1.99 shrimp cocktail and $2 prime rib.
Yeah.
I know I'm dating myself. That's even before my time. But yeah, so that was like I went to Guy Fieri's. I hate saying it that way.
You have to.
That's how you're supposed to say it.
Yeah, Fieri.
but it just feels, I feel I mean, he says it, but I feel pretentious saying it. I want to say Guy Fieri. But I'll do it for you, Guy. So I went to Guy Fieri, and now I'm going to trash a restaurant, but I'm going to do this first. We went to Guy Fieri's sports bar and restaurant for a bite to eat after the show. It's what we show business people do. And the prices were outrageous.
That doesn't surprise me.
I got wings, like 10 wings, buffalo wings.
So
right?
that should typically run you about $15 as a big wing
they were
fan
close
myself.
to $40.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. You get the brisket, like if you order the brisket, which I didn't know if it was a sandwich or whatever it was $56.
Wow.
So, yeah, nah, dog. So, and then I had to check my bill when I checked out because things that you come to expect in a hotel, like you can make coffee in the morning. Like usually they give a complimentary coffee thing.
Yeah.
It was all on that minibar thing that if you pull it off, you've paid for it.
Really?
So I had
They're charging you for coffee these days?
you got the Keurig, but the
cups?
K cups they charged me for it. And I'm in like a suite, like a sick ass suite where you think it's for high rollers and stuff. You could throw in some coffee. So I had some coffee and then I had Reese's Pieces and I was, probably $50. So, I was down for the trip. I did, however, land on Tuesday and I didn't have rehearsal until Wednesday. And I went straight to Planet Hollywood and played the 4:00 $100 buy-in poker tournament.
Uh-huh.
Took 5th place.
Nice.
$265.
Nice.
Turned right around and played the 7:00 tournament. Took 11th place, another $200.
Okay.
It's 2 tournaments, cashed in both of them. Get at me. You didn't know that about your boy, did you?
So it sounds like you paid for your one stop
Yeah,
at
that
Guy
paid
Fieri's
for-
restaurant.
No, I paid for one of my K-Cups.
Yeah.
Luckily, I didn't have to pay for Guy Fieri's. I was with the producer, so I got a free one out of that. The other thing that changed in Vegas, I got to get off of this, is the employee dining room. Because we could eat in the employee dining room, which I used to dig because it used to be great. You'd go in and they had whatever hot food they have, but they'd have like a deli if you wanted to have like an Italian sub or something, or if you wanted to order a hamburger or a hot dog, and they always had this great salad bar. I went into the employee dining room. I should really probably not trash this, but it was worse than prison.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So that sent me back to Guy Fieri. So I was there. All right. So that was Vegas. It was great. I'll be there again this weekend. Come do that with me. Let me see. I made some notes here. So much has happened. Normally I'm sitting on my couch all week between times talking to you, but actually I've been busy. So I've been a little up in the head about this. If you follow me on socials, you've seen me post a million times, not because I want to, but because I've been asked to. Thursday night on Santa Monica Pier is the Netflix Reality Universe Summer Break event, which I'm psyched to be invited to. So part of it are these Netflix. Did we talk about this at all? I think we talked about it a little bit last time.
Yeah, you talked about the jacket that they gave you.
Yeah, which is awesome, but I can wear it nowhere.
Because it's so hot out?
No.
Oh.
Well, first of all, they gave it to me in July, so that was an issue. I almost wore it today just because I thought maybe here was the only way to wear it. But it says Netflix on it, 25. It's got like Temptation Island patch and Host with the Most patch and all this stuff. I'm like, where am I going to wear this? It's like, if you wear that out, this is my problem. It's not really a problem, but like if I get Temptation Island swag or, worse was when I had my talk show and it all said Mark Walberg. I can't wear a Mark Walberg show hat. Just walking around going, and then everybody going, no, that's not him, which my audience did in Vegas every time because he lives there now. So I've got this sick-ass jacket, and maybe you guys can comment. If you go on my social, you can see pictures of it. Where and when is it appropriate for me to wear this out in public? It's a sick jacket, but I don't feel comfortable wearing it anywhere. Anyway, this event is Thursday night, and it really falls under the heading. I always like on Bonfire Talks to find some takeaway that applies to life and how we live and how we grow and stuff. This goes under the heading of compare and despair. Another one of those bumper stickers that Robbie says all the time. So I didn't ask to be nominated for anything. I was grateful to be nominated for Host with the Most. I knew that basically every one of their hosts would be nominated. And now what has happened is it thrust you into a competition that you didn't ask to be part of, and you're going to lose. And it makes me feel bad. Because I looked at the other hosts, and I can't even name them all, but Nick and Vanessa Lachey and Taylor Lewin, I think that's how you say his name, and Chloe Veach, and all these hosts, right? Mm-hmm. They all have at least 1.5 million followers. Like, they're all like celebrities, influencers, and all that stuff. So if you put a post out saying vote for me, if 10% of their people vote, I'm screwed. So I put out a thing saying, look, the only way I'm going to be in the running here is if each one of you takes a weekend off of work and votes 100 times a day each. So what I'm getting at is it doesn't matter. But how much importance we put on stuff when forced to compare ourselves to others, I can't believe how that hook gets into my lip, and I'm just like that fish. Like, I can't believe it's like the Emmys. I'm like I feel like this is an Emmy. And now I'm like all like, oh, I got to show up at 6:30, 7 o'clock, they're going to announce the winners, and then all night long I'm going to be the loser. Like, all night long I got to say hello to people, but I will have lost something. It's stupid. This is not even a thing.
Just have fun with it then.
You see, that's your answer to everything, and that's why you're so much more joyful than I am most of the time. Well, anyway, let me just say that if you voted for me, thank you. And I'm pretty excited about going. It'll be fun. I don't know what reality stars will be there, but it's a, kind of a big deal. And I'm bringing Robbie, which is sick. And Robbie's birthday is Saturday. I'm going to be in Vegas. So the other thing that I'm really working on is how to create a great birthday for her when I'm not there. And I asked her to come to Vegas.
Right. That's what I was going to go, yeah, why did you come along?
She's like, nah. She doesn't drink.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, for a sober person, that's probably not.
Sober person in Vegas. She doesn't gamble. She doesn't drink. And she doesn't want to see my show. She made it very clear. She's seen Wheel of Fortune. She's like, yeah, I'm not going to go watch 2 of your shows for my birthday. And I'm like, I get it. So I could send her to go see O, but then she's going by herself. Yeah. And I couldn't get anybody to go, like, make it a thing. I do have something planned that I could tell you, but this drops tomorrow, Wednesday.
Does she listen?
And she doesn't normally listen. I guess I could go home and tell her not to listen.
Yeah.
So, and let me just preface this by saying birthdays are really difficult because birthdays, I have trouble receiving gifts. It makes me uncomfortable. So when people ask me what I want for my birthday or Father's Day, I'm like, let's just have dinner. It's all good. And quite frankly, that's not even honest because when I get gifts, it's really great and I love them. But I don't think about celebrating myself, which is, we should be cracking that nut open because we all should be celebrating ourselves. Robbie's family comes from an unhealthy amount of presence and celebration for every event. Every event. Like, I'm surprised we're not doing a weekend away for Arbor Day. Like, that's the kind of shit that goes on with Robbie's life. So accepting gifts for Robbie is a love language, and birthdays matter, and I want to make it special for her, and it's difficult because, first of all, she's famous for me. Like, you would think, like, go to the store, buy something that you think that she would like and bring it home, but if it's not what she actually likes, she'll return it, and she'll like literally say, yeah, no, this is not it. So she basically buys stuff, has it shipped to the house, and then I wrap it, and she opens it up. That seems to work, but I still like to make it special. So I got her a couple things so there's something to open. But don't tell her if you know her, please, and you're listening. And I'm pretty sure she won't listen. I'm pretty sure she won't listen.
Tell her not to listen.
I'll tell her not to listen, which will make her listen. So this is like a Lucy episode. Here's what I'm doing for her birthday. I'm flying Goldie in from Boston. And I got her a ticket to the Netflix event, which, by the way, you think as the host of Temptation Island, you ask for an extra ticket. Like, sure. They literally said, we still have people who have an RSVP, so we can't give you a ticket yet, but we'll get back to you. And Netflix, thank you. You did get back to me, and you gave me the ticket, so it was all good. But apparently, this is a sought-after ticket. So Goldie lands at 5:51 at LAX. The event starts at 6, but 6:30, 6:45. We'll get there at 6:30. She'll probably get there. She's not checking luggage. She'll probably get there around 7. LAX to Santa Monica is not that far.
Yeah.
And so Robbie will get surprised on the pier during the event that Goldie's there. And then I'm thinking of sending the two of them to like a resort pass for the day on Friday to like a nice hotel to sit around the pool and have lunch, because girls like to do that. And then Saturday.
I think everybody likes to do that.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I don't know if it's gender specific. So I think that's going to make for a good birthday.
Yeah, that's a good present.
Yeah, I think I might have crushed it. And so as long as she doesn't discover it, because she's already hinted around. She asked Goldie yesterday, is Dad flying you in for my birthday? And so I got a frantic text from Goldie, says, you got to get her off the scent. And I don't even know how to do that. So, because if I mention it, anything like, just so you know, I'm not flying Goldie. Like, everything's a tell.
How long is Goldie going to be in town for?
She'll go home Sunday night.
I want to get her on the show.
Yeah, I know. She is coming to Hawaii for a few days, like a week, when I go to do Temptation Island. So if we can figure out a way to technically do it, where we do an episode there, but you engineer it.
I would love to go to Hawaii. Yes, I'll be there.
That's not what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Well, with our...
okay, if you need me to go to Hawaii with you, I guess I can clear my schedule for a few days.
Well, with the income we're getting on our on our sponsorships on the episode, we just write it off as an expense for the Bonfire Talks. So maybe we could do some episodes or some content or whatever when we're together. I wish she lived closer too, because it'd be fun to do more with her.
Yeah.
But to that end, one of the things that Netflix asked me to do is do a get ready with me post for Thursday. And I texted Goldie. I'm like, look, they want me to do this get ready with me post. And you mind if I shoot just some raw stuff, send it to you, and you cut it into a nice post? Mm-hmm. Her response was, all you got to do is this, this, and this. And that was it. So she's
so that's a no? Was that
I guess that's a no. I swear to God. Meanwhile,
you can hold that phone plan right over her head. You still got that.
I could yank the phone out of her hand, the phone plan, and she, I think, has made money and gotten product off the 5.1 to date million viewers of my dancing video on her TikTok. So I should probably lord that over her as well, but I probably won't. Okay, let's see what else is on the agenda today that I wrote down.
You were talking earlier about, being the host with the most and, having all these fans of all these other people. They have millions of fans, but it seems like you've gained a new fan recently.
And that's what we call a segue. My man. So I'm in Vegas. I'm scrolling. I'm doom scrolling. I'm doing the thing, sitting in a dressing room. And a friend of mine, almost a sister of mine, sent me a clip. And when I first saw it, I'm like, well, that's cool, but I didn't know who it was. Now, I don't want to trigger you guys with politics, because this is not a political post. It's more a less than humble brag post. But I just got to look to make sure I get the name right. That shows you how in tune I am. Yeah, I'm going to get it wrong.
We prepared for this, Mark.
I should have really done this. So there's a big podcast called Throwing Fits that you guys are probably aware of. It's men's fashion and style and stuff like that. And so I get a clip from that podcast where their guest is the mayoral candidate of New York, the very controversial mayoral candidate of New York, Zohran Mamdani. Before you get triggered, this is not an endorsement or a condemnation of that entire political race. I'm not in it. Don't want to be part of it. I have opinions, but I'm not sharing them with you. You can do your own thing. Your boy is not in the politics talk. One day I'm gonna let it rip, and I'll lose half of you, and then some of you will adore me. But in the meantime, I'm just going to sit right in my neutral chair. Nonetheless, this podcast, Throwing Fits, which apparently is a pretty big podcast, has Zohran Mamdani on as a guest. And the clip I get is, do you have any guilty pleasures? And he shouts us out. Can we share that?
Yep.
Have any like guilty pleasure trashy TV that you love to indulge in?
Oh my God. I mean, my wife and I were watching Temptation Island.
Ooh.
Come on.
Season 5. We would watch like 20-minute increments. Have you ever watched the show?
Is that the one with the robot?
That's the one with the light that goes off when your partner has cheated on you in the other house.
I'm familiar with the concept.
But you know, the wild thing that I didn't expect is how thoughtful the host is. He's actually like a fairly good therapist.
Yeah.
And his name is Mark Walberg. But he's not that Mark Wahlberg. And I'm just like, imagine how tough it is being. I mean, it's a very specific name.
The fact that he got this far is honestly incredible.
I wonder if they hired being like,
They thought, who the fuck is this guy?
But then you could be like, hosted by.
We need this kind of brain in Gracie Mansion, bro.
Imagine everyone thinking you just blinded a Vietnamese delivery guy in your 20s. That's crazy.
Yo. We probably should have cut out before that part. Yeah, it's both a compliment and the backhanded diss at the same time. But I will say this. I'm not saying anything about politics, but I do feel like he saw me.
Yeah.
You know, he is the first one to admit what pain it is to share a name with a famous actor. So, yeah, we've got a fan in politics that's watching our show. I thought it was kind of cool. What was really funny is she sent me the clip. I didn't recognize who he was. I'm like, oh, that's cool. You know, that I don't know this podcast, but that's cool. She's like, a mayoral candidate. I'm like, oh, that dude. So I DM'd him.
Yeah.
He didn't respond.
No.
A little busy.
Yeah, I think he's got a lot on his plate right now.
And then it made me think, did they hire me because of my name is Mark Wahlberg and expect the other guy? Nah, whatever. So that was cool.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, it's fun when that happens. And it's fun when you kind of realize that you have no way of knowing who's watching your show or not.
Yeah.
I'm going to do this weekend, and then when I come back from this weekend, we are full on Temptation Island on ramp because the next thing on my agenda is going to Hawaii and shooting this next season. I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen any casting. I know it's all happening, but I'll be the last to know all that stuff. But I'm pretty psyched about it. I'll have a wardrobe fitting in the next couple weeks. That's always fun. And then, yeah, before we know it, we're going to be there bringing you another season, which I think is going to be kind of sick. I got to look. I had all these things I wanted to talk to you about, and I can't remember them now. So I'm in Vegas. I'm walking around, not getting recognized that much. You know, Robbie says I know how to turn on invisibility, but every now and then somebody will come up and go, "Are you that dude?" Whatever. And I've realized that things have changed. Instead of them wanting to take a picture and being flirty and stuff like that, this is what I got. Are you Mark Wahlberg from Temptation Island? Yes. Can we take a picture? Sure. Kind of cute, 2 girls, right? Young girls. And she then says, I wish you were my dad. which is not the same as in Vegas where they go, I want you to be my daddy. And that's creepy. But I'd much rather have the former. I'd much rather that. And I took that as the greatest compliment in the world. That, that's the note I'm playing that they kind of responded to. But I get that a lot. I got invited to 3 weddings this week through DM. Not to officiate, just will you come to my wedding? Mm-hmm. And I'm just desperate and needy enough of attention that I might just show up. I don't know where it is, but I might do it. And then I got a couple people say, I wish you were my dad. And I thought, I wonder if my own children would say that, which I've had them on, so yeah. And then it started, so all of this stuff brings me to yet another thing that I am doubling down on in my quest for personal growth. Okay? Because all of this stuff, not working, then working again, then being on podcasts, and not all this stuff, there's eyes on you, eyes off of you, Netflix event, this whole thing is bringing to light. Again, this is Robbie's yelling at me this morning. Not yelling, but coaching me this morning against my will. But what are you saying to yourself? What is your self-talk And all right, I'm looking at the time. I got time to go here a minute. And so I've been telling you all this kind of bullshitty stuff today, fun stuff and stuff in my life and everything. But what are you saying to yourself about you in all of this? And I realize that if you come to me in pain, I know what to say to you. And I can really kind of give you some coaching and some love. And it's why people come up and say, I wish you were my dad. This is the thing. I've really broken it down that I think that I try to be a non-judgmental voice, that there's a generation that wants to hear some advice, but they don't really want to hear it like you kids today. They want to hear, like, I hear you and I see you and I don't judge you and let's talk it out because I kind of been burned by that same match, that kind of vibe. But so many of you, like me, are great at being there for other people, and that's sick. That's awesome, right? And there's something terrific about that you get, of being of service and puts you in your best, takes you out of yourself and puts you right in. I've talked about it a million times, that the best version of you is when you're in service to others. But there's a best version, even a better version of you when you're in service to yourself. That's what I'm having to relearn. And I guess that brings me to, no matter what you do as far as emotional intelligence and growth, it doesn't stick forever. It's not a one-time fix and then you're Mr. Wise happy guy all the fucking time. You got to constantly double down and catch yourself in behavior. Look, here's what's going to happen. I guarantee it. I guarantee this. Whatever the things that plagued you, that hurt you, that trigger you, that stop you from being successful, that you've broken through and become successful in those areas, those things will come back to haunt you at some level over and over and over again. I guarantee it. Don't tell me, you cannot prove to me that there's someone who fixed it forever. The speed at which you address it, the speed at which we're able to recognize when we're falling into old behavior, that's where you become a master, Zen master. So what I'm looking at right now is my propensity to be awesome for you and talk shit about myself. All right?
Mm-hmm.
I will come up to a stranger and tell them how great they're doing. On my cameos, I get these requests. Can you give so-and-so a pep talk? And I don't even know you, and I know what I can say to you to kind of remind you that you're awesome. But what do you say to yourself when you wake up in the morning, before your eyes even open and the day's about to happen and the dark parts show up? What do you fucking say? I know what I've been saying lately. And it's just, then, so here's the thing. Pat Finn, who's been on my show before, been on the podcast, he's a former host, he's a TV host, but he's really dedicated his life into sort of emotional intelligence and self-expression and leadership and all that stuff. And he's my dear friend, if not one of my best friends, and he's also a mentor and coach to me. And I talked to him at length yesterday on the phone, and he reminded me that all that self-talk stuff is only thoughts. So when you say, you suck, or why can't you blah, 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 or, you know, you're too old to this or too young for that, or whatever disempowering conversation you're having with yourself about how you look, how you feel, what you're capable of, what your weaknesses are. He reminded me that those are just thoughts. And if you cut somebody open, you won't find them. They don't exist. They're thoughts. They are simply the rattle between your ears that come from your past or whatever. It doesn't really matter where they come from. But since they're thoughts, you get to have the power, you're allowed to change them. And I've done this before when I've really had the energy to do it, where I've put a pin in certain phrases that I hear myself saying over and over again, and found and really written down, like on paper, a different sentence to say whenever that pops up. But when I'm finding myself in this midsummer kind of doldrums, and with, Temptation Island, I want to show up and be great. And so I'm starting to think about that. This ridiculous Netflix thing that has me compare myself to other hosts and what they're doing right and what I'm doing wrong. And looking in the mirror and just body image stuff, all this stuff that I think you can relate to. What are you fucking saying to yourself about it? And why do you think that's true? I'm talking to me. You guys can listen if you want. But why do you think that's true? And who says? And what would it be like? Like, what would it be like if you got up and you just said, hey, you're doing great. You're doing great. Now get up and enjoy all the things in front of you and be joyful, because what you're saying is not true. So one of the things that Pat said to me yesterday that really kind of rung true, he said, Mark, what's going on with you? Because from the outside looking in, you're crushing it. And I'm like, wow. So then I started to look through his eyes at me, and I'm like, he's right. I am crushing it. I got a huge show. I love doing it. People seem to dig that I'm doing it. I've got a wife who loves me. I love her. My kids are healthy. I got a house. Everything's fucking awesome. My golf swing is not great, but it's getting better. So yes, why isn't that the narrative I wake up with every day instead of, you're just not quite what other people are? So I guess what I'm the bottom line here is it's not hard to feel better. But this is the phrase that got me spinning. What's your payoff for the bad self-talk? Because everything that we do has a payoff. We do it, and not in the sense that you probably think, but there's a cost and there's a payoff. All right, let me give you an example. So a cost is you say shitty things about yourself to yourself, and it makes you feel bad. The payoff is you get to feel bad, which takes you out of having to show up. So that's a payoff that you, for some reason, are choosing rather than letting go of the story of misery and the victim and I would, but all that stuff. So it's funny how we get addicted to payoffs that aren't particularly great, And so it's basic shit, but I had to hear it from somebody else to wake up this morning and go, the sky is blue and the grass is green, and, I can put my shoes on and I can do whatever I want today, and I've got love and life around me. You gotta want to feel better, as opposed to subconsciously wanting to feel like shit. And that's something you got to really look at, because the things you're complaining about, talking to me, things you're complaining about, the thoughts that you're choosing to indulge are paying you. And you're actually arguing for them. It's paying you to feel bad. And then you get to, behind that, have behavior that you can indulge that affects your happiness and others, and you're choosing to say, the story I want is to not be happy and then blame the world because I'm not happy. As opposed to having to let that go and go, wait a minute, that's not true, so I guess I just got to be happy, and what will I do with my time? Now that I'm not on the couch going, I'm fucked. So anyway, that's...
Well,
yes.
Speaking of that, and on a more practical level than philosophical level, because that happens to all of us all the time, and that happens to me all the time, and it kind of even gets into something that I was like, I guess I could talk about this, on the show today. Going on Instagram and social media does not help at all with any of this. It's looking at other people living their best life, doing all these cool things.
Which is also not true.
Well, yeah, a lot of it's just fake and set up for social media. So, like, I find myself scrolling and be like, oh, look at that. Well, look at what they got. Look at what they're doing. And just put it down. Put it down and go do something. Go for a walk. Go work out. Go get lunch by yourself. Go see a movie by yourself. Just go out and do something and just get off Instagram and TikTok and whatever you're doing. When you start, that's what I do, and it helps.
It's so true. I'm not willing to do it, but so true. Yeah, the entire process of TikTok and Instagram, the entire experience, the joyful part is checking in with people you love and seeing what they're up to. But I don't think that compares to the overwhelming feeling of worthlessness that comes from seeing other people on a trip to Bora Bora going blessed, and you're like home going, I got to fucking pay the bills.
Yeah.
You know, and it leaves you feeling less than and empty. And I think you're right. I it's a relatively new phenomenon. What I was talking about, the self-talk, there's nothing new about that. You didn't need Instagram or TikTok to run yourself down between your ears and be your worst enemy. But social media triggers that right up. Just sets it up for you to have evidentiary proof that what you're thinking is true. Yeah, you do suck. Because that guy who has 400,000 followers and just got a free trip to Cancun is better than you. And why bother? Right. So, yeah, that's a very, very good point. Let's leave it on that. By the way, this is the segue. Social media is killing you. It makes you feel bad. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow to my podcast.
You can watch us on YouTube. You can, listen to us on Spotify. That's the best way to consume Bonfire Talks podcast.
I think
I
that's
wouldn't
true.
even consider those social media.
Yeah, and hopefully there's something that's said on this podcast that brings you back to some truth and happiness, because that's really, although I'm going to self-talk in front of you poorly about myself. That's what I'm about. I'm about a little love, a little peace, a little growth, and talking about the stuff that's plaguing me so that maybe it rings in you and we can get through it together. So that's kind of what I'm about. And I can't believe that as I was about to say that, I was going to say, well, I don't really do a good job of it. Again, I'm really working today to not have bad self-talk. Why don't you try it for today? Why don't you try this with me today? A little less social media. Like, give yourself an hour where you put your phone like in the microwave. Not in the microwave, but put it somewhere. And maybe tally. You don't have to say good things about yourself, but keep a running tally of how many times you say something shitty about yourself so that you can become present to what your self-talk is, so that we together can start to love ourselves up a little bit. Okay. That's it.
Make sure to write us and email us at Bonfire Talks Podcast if you would like help in your life and you would like Mark's advice,
or if you like
got going on,
or if you'd like to give me advice, because apparently I need more than I'm giving. So do that. And Kaylin, thank you, buddy, for you always land the plane, and I appreciate that.
Thank you, Mark.
And I'll see how I can get you to Hawaii.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let's make that happen.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to be at this big Netflix event. If I win Host with the Most, I'm going to start making some demands.
Well, I've been engaged for a while now, and it's my fiance's dream to get married in Hawaii. So maybe we could set up a little something there.
Well, that's the hustle. That's the hustle. I've got a great idea for the show. I perform a wedding.
Yeah.
You'd have to have me officiate.
Are we going to be on Netflix?
Yeah. And then you can have your own
Oh,
wedding.
you're officiating. That's already a given.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So that's going to happen. Talk nice to yourself. I promise to do the same for me. Look, I did a podcast today. Everything's going great. I'm so proud of myself. I'm proud of myself for showing up and doing this. And thank you for listening and indulging, and be nice to one another. That's the thing I was talking about with some friends, and this is important. I have time to just leave you with this. Where I started, the world is so divided. Our country is so divided. Shit's going down. That's scary as fuck if you really look at it. For some of you, it's terrific. For some of you, it's scary. It doesn't matter. The point is, we are the dissonance vibrationally going on in today's world is so huge that this is the one thing I'm saying that we can do. Certainly, you can protest the things you're against. You can celebrate the things you're for. But what I choose to do to keep my sanity is anybody who touches my circle is going to be met with love and peace. I'm peaceful, and I love you. And I think we can all kind of do that. And I think there's more power in that than anything else. So go have a great day. I love you. I was talking to Kaylin, but you're involved too.
I love you too, Mark.
Thanks, buddy. And more to come. And thanks for indulging me here at the Bonfire. And I'll talk to you soon.